And our next performer up is the biggest fool in all of North America. Listen, that's a bad way to introduce Holger. He's the biggest member of Carnival. We refer to them as Naden. So our next performer, the most important man in all of Carnival. We do this here, but there are groups in San Diego. If anyone's interested, we're going down there next weekend. There are groups in Las Vegas, all through the Midwest, the East Coast, and into Canada. And like I said, the man who's in charge of the German American Carnival Association all across North America, and now here to perform for you. After that build-up, this had better be amazing, Holger. Holger Claus, everyone.
This microphone seems a little vertical challenged, and the ceiling as well. Oh, first I need my glasses. Ich bin zum Optiker gegangen und da fragte mich, na, die Alte ist wohl nicht mehr scharf genug. Sag ich, das geht Sie einen Scheißdreck an, ich brauche eine neue Brille. I start in German, ja. Es ist so toll, wieder hier im Phoenix Club zu sein. Und es sieht so aus, als ob ihr in eurem neuen Club, als ob ihr euch viel näher gekommen seid. Naja, ist ja auch kein Wunder bei der Größe von dem Ballroom. Und dann habt ihr ja noch so einen schmucken Prinzen dieses Jahr. Da gibt es ja so viel zu erzählen. Aber wenn ich so drüber nachdenke, eigentlich gibt es ja im Club nicht so viel zu lachen und wegen der Political Correctness sollte ich lieber nicht über Immigranten, Schwarze, Polizisten, Transgender, Schwule, Kalifornien oder Frauen sprechen. Ich habe keine Ahnung von Ökonomie oder Politik. Wenn ich so nachdenke, sollte ich eigentlich ein idealer Präsidentschaftskandidat sein. Andererseits bin ich weder radikal noch Milliardär, ich zahle Steuern, lasse mich nicht bestechen und betrüge meine Frau nicht. Wer würde mich schon wählen? Apropos wählen, da fällt mir doch noch was zum Prinzen ein. Hört der Prinz überhaupt zu?
Ja, ich höre zu.
Seht ihn an, den Heinz. Man denkt, er wäre ein Prinz aus Mainz. Doch guckt man näher, wird man sehen, er kommt halt doch nur aus Bremen. Wenn man ihn hört, tut man es vergleichen mit all den Friesen auf den Deichen. Doch kommt man dann trotzdem zum Entschluss, trotz Fischkorb ist er kein Verdruss. Okay, now I continue in English. Last November, I was at the restaurant. 4 Democrats at the next table. The first one making a deep moan. The second one a little oh. The third one is weeping loudly, and says the fourth one, "Will you finally stop commenting the election?" And then last year I was on a road trip in one little farm town. I was in a bar talking to an old farmer, and he said, "Well, you know, Biden is a post turtle." I said, "What, a post turtle?" "Yeah, when you're driving down a country road and you come across a fence post with a turtle balanced on top, that's a post turtle." And? You know, he didn't get up there by himself. He doesn't belong up there. He doesn't know what to do while he's up there. He's elevated beyond his ability to function, and you just wonder what kind of dumbass put him up there to begin with. So now we have a new president. Again, a difficult year for comedians. The obvious jokes were up for election. How can you beat that? Isn't it funny that the new president will have to use his pardons on himself when entering the White House? While the last president used the pardons for his family before leaving the White House. Yeah, but we are still in California. Nothing has changed. Okay, we are not allowed to buy gas stoves anymore, or install gas lines into new houses, or to park within 20 feet to a corner anymore. And we're supposed to buy only electrical cars from now on, while we're not having enough electricity or charging stations, okay? And we have 2 million illegal immigrants with full benefits now, okay. But I will admit, some of those people really try to get by with regular work. Last month I was in LA, and I listened to 3 beggars talking about their day. Said the first one, today I made $45. I had a sign saying I'm unemployed and homeless. Said the second, I made $90. My sign said I'm hungry and homeless. Said the third, I made $1,500 today. Wow, how did you do that? My sign said, I'm from Venezuela and I want to go home. Yeah. And last year we had a $70 billion deficit in California, and at the same time they were seriously debating in Sacramento to give every black person in California a $250,000 reparation for slavery in California. I have to say, as a Buttenradler, I'm so embarrassed. Why can I not come up with stuff like that? I don't know what they are thinking in Sacramento, but it reminds me of the old saying, reality is an illusion that is caused by alcohol deficiency. Thanks God, marijuana is legal in California. Alcohol just doesn't do it anymore. Also, I don't do drugs, but I still feel I'm hallucinating most of the time. Sometimes I think the only way to go, not going insane is to already be insane. But then I would probably be already a politician. It reminds me of that blonde going to the doctor and saying, it hurts everywhere. When I poke here, it hurts. When I poke myself here, it hurts. Says the doctor, lady, your finger is broken. Well, as you may notice, I'm getting to an age where doctor visits are becoming quite frequent. You know, you're getting old when your doctor starts referring you to an archaeologist. Yeah, it's not that I'm physically sick. I'm from an old generation. We had that saying, when you can smell your fart again, your cold is over. Very easy. Yeah, but our healthcare system is really somewhat out of whack. Recently, I needed an appointment to get a CAT scan, and the woman told me the earliest appointment I have is for the fall of 2026. I answered, that could be tight. Is it in the morning or the afternoon? Because in the morning I have my next appointment with the DMV. By the way, when I go to the doctor, I now sometimes take a sleeping bag with me. Yeah, you know, I'm on HMO. Yeah. At the doctor office, I also sometimes make jokes. Last time when I registered at the nurse desk, I asked her, how long is the waiting time? You know, I would like to spend the next Christmas with my family. Yeah, and when I entered the waiting room, there are so many old folks there, and I asked them, how old were you when you sat down here? Yeah, one time the nurse came in and asked, who is the lady that needs a new bandage for the broken arm? And I answered, she went home, it's all healed up by now. When I finally got to see the doctor, I said, that took a really long time. I almost finished my own medical degree while waiting. But he's a really funny guy too. My wife visited him and he told her, it looks like you are pregnant. And she screamed, that cannot be! And he said, I said, it looks like it. Did you know that a recently published new scientific study found that women with extra weight usually live longer than men? Who pointed out? Yeah, thank you, DJ. He's laughing so much he forgets to push. I think that's it. Or do you need my glasses? I asked my doctor, how can I live longer than 100 years? Do you smoke? No. Do you eat too much? No. Do you go to bed late? No. Do you have affairs with promiscuous women? No. Then why in the hell would you want to live more than 100 years? Yeah, and then he asked me, do you do dangerous sports? Well, sometimes I talk back at my wife. Yeah, then he asked me, do you exercise? I ask, does sex count? He says, yes. Well, in that case, no. And he advised me to exercise more. I finally started doing that to build some muscle in my arms and shoulders and so on. I want to share that with you. So you begin by standing on a comfortable surface where you have plenty of room at each side. You take a 5-pound potato sack in each hand. Extend your arms straight out from your sides and hold them there as long as you can. Try to reach a full minute and relax each day, and you will find it works better every day. After a couple of weeks, move up to a 10-pound sack, then a 50-pound sack, and then eventually try to get where you can lift a 100-pound potato sack in each hand and hold your arms straight for more than a full minute. And once you feel confident at that level, put 1 potato in each of the sacks. Yeah. I also have done some research about healthy nutrition. What I've found so far is this. The Japanese eat very little fat and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Americans. The Mexicans eat a lot of fat and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Americans. The Chinese drink very little red wine and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Americans. The Italians drink a lot of red wine and suffer fewer heart attacks than the Americans. The Germans drink a lot of beer and eat lots of sausages and fats and suffer fewer heart attacks than the American. I have come to the conclusion I can eat and drink what I would like. Speaking English is apparently what kills you. Recently I told my friend, hey, your wife is a really lovely woman. And he, well, she's getting old. Well, I said, you know, they say that women age like fine wine. And he said, well, she's aging more like milk. Yeah. My wife is teacher. She told me about her first day after spring break in her high school. And she introduced a new student, Sakiro Suzuki from Japan. Starting the lesson, she asked, let's see who knows American history. Who said, "Give me freedom or death"? Absolute silence in the class. Only Suzuki raises his hand. Patrick Henry, 1775 in Philadelphia. Oh, very well, Suzuki. And who said, "If all do not join now to save the good old ship of the Union voyage, nobody will have the chance to pilot here on another voyage"? Suzuki gets up. Abraham Lincoln, speech at Cleveland, 1861. She looks at her students and says, "You should be ashamed. Suzuki is a Japanese and knows American history better than all of you." A voice from the back comes and, "Kiss my ass, you shit chap." Who was that? Suzuki, General MacArthur, 1942. Well, I'm not finished. Well, the room is absolutely silent. Only one voice can be heard. "I think I have to throw up." Suzuki, George Bush Sr. at the Japanese Prime Minister Tanaka at lunch in Tokyo. Another student gets up and shouts, "Suzuki is a piece of shit." Suzuki says, "Valentino Rossi in Rio at the Grand Prix for motorbikes, Brazil 2002. The students laugh hysterically. My wife collapsed and the school principal comes in. "Shit, I have never saw such a mess." Suzuki, Barack Obama, 2024, commenting on the Democratic presidential election campaign. Phoenix! 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 Oh. Prince Ahoy!
Thank you so much, Holger.